This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the Gulf of Mexico as their backdrop, broadcasting live from the Margaritaville Resort on Fort Myers Beach, here are the hosts of the dinkiest podcast in America, Kim and Ed Ryan.
Yeah, baby. Oh, nice. Very nice. I love when Dave's here because Dave knows to rile up the crowd and applaud. Like last weekend on Sunday, we had nobody there. So nobody knew that, we need the cheap applause to make it sound like people are actually here watching the show. Let me turn your microphone on.
Cheap applause.
Right. And speaking of what my needs are,
shallow.
Last night we went to the chamber event, and just for the record, everybody, we won 2 awards, and everybody else won 1.
Two of us.
No. Don't cheapen it. We won 2 different awards, and I'm pretty sure
It was
that
2 different years too.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that they couldn't find anyone else for Citizen of the Year, so they just gave it to Dan. Otherwise, I would have won that too. I mean, come on. I mean, why does the mayor need to be Citizen of the Year? I mean, crazy.
No, honorary resident.
We're honorary
citizen.
citizen. Yes, which means I get the key to the city if there ever was a key to the city. So. But no, thank you to the chamber, and it was a great event. And Keep Lee County Beautiful won an award, and Mitch's wife won an award, Mary, for Mitch for 2023, and Beach Baptist and a bunch of other folks. So it was a really fun event at Diamond Head and the Women's Club. Yes, of course, we're gonna have the Women's Club on, and so thank you for inviting us, and it was a lovely time.
Yeah, the Diamond Head, they had lots of food.
They're just killer at the Diamond Head.
The drink line though. Was
they might want to. I mean, you gotta work the crowd. When you work in the beach crowd, you need to have 4 bars open. I mean,
right.
You had 1 long line last night, but you're gonna have 4 long lines if you have 4 bartenders open, or bars open. So we are live from License to Chill at Margaritaville. We have a nice crowd here. It's nice to see so many people come out. What a beautiful beach day it is today. We had a nice walk around in the north end and checked out all the condos on the north end. We also saw the sand that they're distributing. Did you guys see the sand in the north end? Wow, that's super nice sand. So a lot of work going on the beach. There's a lot of people out on the beach today. It's a perfect day to be out here. It's not too humid.
It is.
And so thank you all for coming out to the show.
I want to
go right ahead,
say
dear.
A happy birthday yesterday
Whose
to
birthday?
Ruth.
Oh, Ruth.
Yes.
How old are you now?
She's 29.
Very nice, 29, Ruth. And thank you for coming to the show.
Do you want to say how old you are?
87.
87.
Wow, thank you so much.
Wow. And she's sad because she's heading back Tuesday. And so
way.
Those guys in the back are heading back Tuesday.
And Dave and Julie are heading back on May 7th. So everybody's going back.
We're going to be lonely.
It's going to be empty. We're not going to need these tents.
Those ladies, they're coming every week.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. And Perry and these guys are back. And so thank you all for coming out. And one other thing I wanted to mention, but I can't read. Oh, Robin, get over here. Robin, you skipped last weekend. Robin is our waitress. I don't know if you're allowed to say that anymore. Is that discriminatory if I say waitress or the word gender? You're not allowed to say anything like that anymore. So Robin is 15 weeks pregnant now. She is having her baby's name is Kaya, and she is going to give birth on October 10th, which is my birthday.
Oh, maybe he's.
And so how's the pregnancy? Do we have any doctor's appointments? Or
It is good. I see Kaya again on May 1st.
Nice.
And
that's
I
the
am
next
16
ultrasound.
Weeks now.
Oh,
Yes.
16.
Yeah.
We missed a week somehow.
Well, don't
15,
mess
'cause I
up the
couldn't sit
count.
down.
16
Yeah.
out of 52 weeks, or
There we
what's the
go.
number?
50, well, look, he's got me messing up now.
50
I said
weeks.
50. It's 40.
40 weeks. So you have 24
Give
weeks
or take
left.
a week.
Yeah.
24 weeks. So you're going to work through June and July and August and the heat and all that.
In the heat, in the summer.
So
in the hot,
how big do you think you're going to get? Like what'll be your top weight when you're carrying?
You
want
to know my weight?
Well,
I
not
don't
now.
know.
Like
You
when
don't have to
are you
answer
going to you going to have a big belly or a little belly or?
I'm almost on month 5 and I'm not really showing
Do you
that
have
much,
a-
but I will pop
Can
at
you
the
stick
end.
your tongue out, please?
I do have a tongue piercing.
Really? You have a tongue piercing? I mean, is that going to be good for Kaya to know that you have a tongue piercing?
My kids know now.
Wow. I mean, did that hurt when
Is
you
it
got
going to be good for your kid to know when you have no
Listen,
teeth because I
listen.
knocked them out?
If I had kids that were protesting on campus right now, I was saying to these guys before the show, I don't want to get political, but if I was protesting, if I was protesting the way these kids are protesting, like on campus, my dad would drive 8 hours and pull me back home by the hair and kick the shit out of me. I mean, sorry, but what are they? They don't even know what they're protesting for.
What are they protesting for?
Right? They're never mind. So stick your tongue out. Seriously. So did that hurt?
No, my belly ring hurt worse.
Did they put you under? Like, did they give you Novocaine or something?
No,
like they pull your tooth out?
she's not a big sissy like you who had to get oxygen and help for a tooth pull.
Did they have to flip you upside down so that the blood rushed back to your head after that? Now, why? Like, what brings you to the conclusion in your mind that says, dude, I want to go out today and get my tongue pierced? I just feel like getting a tongue piercing.
I was 15.
So 15.
Are they allowed to do that?
If your parents signed for it,
Okay.
Did your parents sign for it?
Yeah, my mom kind of let me do it.
Okay.
So you got the kind of parents that would let
Not
you
that I would
protest.
forge anybody's signature.
Yeah,
probably.
I
I don't
see.
think they would
It
care.
did come to mind.
Was there a lot of blood? Like if
No
blood. Interesting. Do you want to get it out? You feel like you're getting to the age now where you're an adult and you want
doesn't
to
bother me.
I'm
so used to it. I had to like learn how to whistle and everything all over
You
again
are
from it.
so judgy. Good Lord. You're
Me,
like
judgy?
You are an
God.
old man now.
Dear, I think you don't realize that I
are
am
an
just
old man.
I'm just portraying. I'm saying things that people want to say, but they can't
you're
say.
saying things that
Yeah.
someone
So when
that's old would say
when
that
you eat-
has no.
this might sound like a dumb
filter.
question, but everybody wants to know this. When you
Well,
eat
there you
spaghetti,
go.
does it
Dumb
get
question.
stuck on the?
No.
On the I mean, does anything
No.
ever get stuck on that thing?
No.
Or wow, that's crazy.
No.
When Kia is born or
Kaya.
Kai is born,
He'll
are you
get
gonna-
it eventually.
He's
Or-
not. He won't.
and tattoos and the whole thing, you're cool
Yeah.
with that, yeah. All right, so you're healthy. We're all healthy, and you're
She's
feeling
good, yeah.
good. You're now
Just
remember
started
she's
feeling
with
her.
child, everybody, and she has 2 others.
I do.
And so tips have to be very high today. So keep that in mind. All right.
I appreciate
Get
you,
out of
Ed.
here now.
I'm
Take
leaving.
care of our baby. Speaking of babies, our daughter, she didn't have a baby, by the way. Don't get crazy. She invites us to, well, we were coming to the beach last night, and she lives close to the beach. So she says, hey, can you stop by and see me? I'm going to park at that ice cream place where the bowling alley used to be. And so she gets out of the car and she's got a puppy. Like her boyfriend brought a puppy back the other day. And now she has a puppy. And we were like, well, you had a dog and you gave us the dog. Now we have your old dog. Now you have a new dog. So at some point we're going to have a third dog, I guess.
No, we're not.
Now,
No,
what
we're not.
kind of dog was that?
It's a golden doodle.
A golden doodle. And those,
Named Frankie.
oh, we got golden doodle fans in the audience here.
Miss Frankie.
Frankie. Now
with
it's
an
a,
IE.
it's a girl. So they couldn't have come up with a more feminine name for a dog.
Frankie's a girl.
It's not really.
Wow.
No, I mean, I know.
You
I'm probably
are
going to
really
jail. I'm going to
old.
gender jail for saying Frankie's a guy's name. But for most part, if you say Frank, hey, Frankie, a girl's not going to turn around. But anyway,
Yeah.
so it's a very nice puppy.
If there was a jail for offensive comments, you would be in there on a life sentence.
All right, let's get to our first guest, very important guest from the women's club. I almost said ladies club, women's club.
What
Megan and Mary are here to talk to us from our other guest didn't show up. So he's 16. That's why. Come on down. Megan and Mary from the women's club are here, and we are going to talk about what they have going on. We love the women's club. Our race on May,
He's got everybody so tight.
the day before Mother's Day race is a 5K run and a walk.
Be careful.
And it's going to be on the beach here starting at Times Square. It's coming up in 2 weeks, so please register for that. So Mary's got a bag there. What's going on with you? Why'd you bring a bag? What's going on there, Mary?
If you participate in the
Don't move.
2024 pub
Now
passport,
stick your tongues out. Do you guys have tongue rings, or did you ever think about tongue rings, or would you get a tongue ring, or whatever it's called?
I'm old. I'm way past tongue
Yeah.
ring age.
Like if you had kids right now that said, "Mom, I want to go get a tongue ring," what would you say?
She's way older than asking me for permission.
I know, but
That's
we're
right.
it's a hypothetical, Mary. Play with me here. Come on. Would you get a tongue ring? No, she wouldn't get one.
I like your sunglasses.
Yeah, me
Where'd you
too.
get those?
I love them. Where did you
They
get them?
are- I mean, I
The
know
goods.
you have my.
No,
Where?
The goods. A plug
Oh,
for the
okay.
goods.
They
I
have-
like that they
they
have
have-
a
they have
little
everything at the
side
goods.
on them.
The
It's
goods is a
it's
hardware
the only
store.
place to buy Costas.
Yeah.
It is the only place to buy.
Oh
it.
yeah,
What is-
those are good.
What did those
ones.
sunglasses cost you? Like, and what is the price tag on those suckers?
I'm gonna have to sell a lot more beer this week.
Yeah. So what are they?
Yeah, they're
$100?
I think they were like $270.
$270 for a pair of sunglasses. Like, aren't you afraid you would
No, but
lose
they're,
them?
they're a
You
good
absolutely
brand.
do not lose them when you spend $270.
Yeah. I had
on
a-
sunglasses.
I had a pair of
They have a
Oakleys.
low jack
It's
on
kind
them.
of like buying a $40,000 car or a $4,000 car. You always lock the $40,000
Yeah,
car.
right. I had a pair of Oakleys once. I had somebody from Nancy from Sport Tech gave me a pair of Oakleys. They were the kind of sunglasses that you had to unlock that little thingamajig back in the old days. And so she gave them to me, and I was like, I can't. I'm afraid I'm going to lose them or sit on them. I would sit on them and break them or something like
I can
that.
see
So, but Sue, how much are your glasses, Megan?
About the same.
Now,
But I had my last pair for 5 years.
yeah.
So
Nice.
How much were they?
About the same.
So the mayor's too good to show up to a show where you're on the show. I mean, you
he heard
always
you were
show
gonna-
up to his
He's
show.
doing golf cart things.
Okay.
But he heard you were going to be here.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be around tomorrow, I guess. So I hope you don't show up tomorrow just to get back at him.
Nah, I'm
tomorrow.
not that way.
Okay. Yeah. So the mayor was Citizen of the Year for 2022. Was that the year? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you think he deserved that?
Yeah,
I
I
do
would say
too.
so.
I've been joking around, but he
He
really
did a few things.
Yeah,
he
he
did a
did.
few things.
that was a time where there was like
And
a trend.
look at this.
Oh yeah, I forgot ours.
Shameless
I brought
plug
our-
here. She
and
just
I will
put
say
it out.
the picture Eliza chose was epic.
Oh, that was
Which
great.
picture?
The
of
picture
Dan.
of him with Foley
Yeah.
after
Oh,
pickleball,
yeah,
that was
yeah,
an epic
yeah.
picture.
So
Was
he
that was after playing pickleball, the game that we did? Oh, I wasn't 100% sure. I was like,
those are nice awards they gave
They
out.
are
They're very
so
nice. And it
nice.
was a nice event last night. And it's nice to see everybody gathered and getting together. And Cabanas at Diamond Head is open again downstairs. The breeze that was coming through last night was so nice. And
Yep.
so everything is starting to come together a little at a time. So what's going on with the women's club?
Take it.
Mary?
Well, we're currently in our second FMB Pub Passport. which-
Please explain to people that might not know what a pub passport is, because it involves drinking, and our crowd is a crowd of drinkers. Where else are you going to go where people come to watch a dinky podcast and drink from 10 o'clock in the morning on? Right here, people at Margaritaville.
So last year after the hurricane.
Speak up, Mary. We know you're
God,
not shy.
I'm sorry. I am shy.
Speak up.
So shy. Leave me alone.
yes, so shy.
Please, this is how shy she is. I don't know what event we were out, but I must have said something that really ticked you off. She put me in a headlock so bad and started choking me out. Like, I swear I lost oxygen.
I pull the
That's-
picture up every once in a while because it's hilarious.
There's partial brain
Does it bring you
damage.
joy?
There was partial
Huh?
brain
Brings you
damage.
joy.
Yes, it
I was
does.
sucking. Do you remember why? Of course you don't remember
Because
why.
you're a man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's start with the
And
obvious.
all men are pigs. Isn't that the way it goes?
Okay, so this is our second year doing the Pub Passport. The first year we did it was as a challenge from Alex King and the King Family Foundation
There you go.
to bring people in. We did it last year from July 1st to December 31st. So this year started April 1st and it goes to December 31st. There's 17 participating businesses. This year it's about $140 in savings. They're $25.
That's it.
And if you complete it, if you're first 500 to complete it, you get this beach bag, which
Wow.
Which is really nice.
Yeah. Who made the beach
It's a
bag? Is
good
that
size too.
this one,
People.
okay? People. There's an inside joke there that you guys don't want to
No.
share or something.
no, well, like last year we did our beach towels through Tuna Skin.
Yes.
But this was not local. This
I
was
see.
not purchased locally.
From China is why you're laughing. They're from made in China.
No, he's from Pennsylvania.
I see.
There you go.
All
He's a
right.
Pennsylvania
Okay.
guy. Yeah, see?
Well, you
Everyone
don't
likes
hear that
Pennsylvania.
often. Are you
And
guys from
just to-
Pennsylvania? Nice. Are you staying here at the hotel? Very nice. I didn't recognize you. It looked like you didn't know what was going on here, right? I was kind of watching it at the corner. And you're like, as long as you have
Yay.
drinks, right? And you're in the shade.
Yeah.
How do you like your room so far? Yes. Have you been to the pool? All right. Very nice. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming. What part of Pennsylvania are you from? Oh, Philadelphia. Yeah. The 76ers are a cheap, they play rough and they are bullies, by the way. I don't know if you're watching basketball, but that Joel Embiid, that dirty player, is a very dirty player. But anyway, I didn't lose my place. What
no,
were you
I
saying?
just wanted to say though, you were talking about last year. Do you still have the towels? The towels are still available,
We
right?
still have some, and so I actually brought a few, and those are Tuna Skin brand, and they retail for $37, and we're selling them for $25. If anyone's interested,
That sounds like a loss of money.
well,
You're losing money
They
there.
gave us a wholesale cost because we
I see.
purchased a lot,
I see.
so
Good.
we're just kind of getting enough and paying for taxes.
Because
on
the
them.
women's club, like the art association in our audience here, they lost their building, which really sucks. And everybody's trying to rebuild their building, like everybody's trying to rebuild their house or rebuild
Right.
their condos or get back in whatever. So what is going on?
Well, wait, for
Okay.
those who don't know, tell us a little bit about the women's club and what they do. And it's your turn, Megan. Take it
It's
away.
my turn. Okay. Well, you know, the primary mission of the Women's Club is really to support our other nonprofits that are on the island. And we do that mostly through two major events throughout the year, which is our Tree Festival and Putt and Pub. So a good majority of the proceeds from those two events get distributed between all the nonprofits that participate in those events. So for you nonprofits out there, start thinking about Christmas trees. So I hate to say it, but it'll be here before we
Wow.
know it. So yeah, that's our primary mission. And yeah, we have a building to build now. So we're going to be kicking off a capital campaign. And as lovely as a dirt parking lot is right now, we would love to put a building back on there.
And
one
how
day.
much is the building campaign going to be?
We're still working out some numbers. We've been
Roughly.
let me get there. Give me a second.
Okay.
We've been lucky enough for.
She's yelling at me, Tom.
Oh, he's like,
She's going to choke you out in a minute. And I'm going to watch in delight and take pictures.
Albert with AD Design and Jim with Ink Engineering has been really helpful in trying to help us get launched into what our building costs are going to be. And we have kind of a wish list, and we have what could we possibly do.
Mhm.
And the mayor asked me one day, he goes, well, what is your minimum? I said, well, we could have a tent. We can have a tent. We
Yeah.
can work out of a tent.
Yeah.
And he goes, Mary, what we're looking at is probably about $6 million,
Okay.
which is a big number.
Just,
We have
we'll
to be-
just collect checks at the end of the show
Perfect.
from our people here.
One,
I like
two,
the way you
three,
were-
This
four.
guy has a house in South Dakota he's trying to get rid of.
Okay, yeah, we'll just move it on. We
And
just
I-
need to
Yeah.
get some pilings up.
Yeah.
And part of the big thing about that is
That's a lot of money.
it's a lot of money, and a lot of people hear that now the Women's Club is just raising money for a building. And I just want to say, we just finished our fiscal year on March 31st. And last year we raised $470,000, and $110,000 of that went back to nonprofit organizations that participated with us.
Right.
Yeah.
And 85,000 of that went back into the community, whether it was having our awards banquet dinner here or buying our beach towels from Tuna Skin. So, I mean, we put over $200,000 back into the community right here. And so we haven't stopped what our mission is, but at $6 million, at $200,000 a year,
It's going to be a few years.
we've got a few years.
And I think, you know, tying into that mission, it's not just that we're building a building for us. This is a community space. It is space for nonprofits that do not have spaces to go to. So it's not solely just for the Women's Club to get together once a month, right?
Right.
And where it's at on the island, being mid-island, the neighborhood is really welcoming to having a building back in there. It's a community space. They love having people there. And again, we reach out to our nonprofits and we want them to be part of that space. So it's not just solely for us.
So if you guys have a decent piece of property there, is there any chance you can sell off a piece of property for a couple million, and then your building's only 4 million or 3 million, or is that on the table?
We've had a couple instances where we've been approached,
Yeah.
where our piece of land can get maybe added to another one. But the price per dollar that they wanted to offer us was about a third of what they were paying for the adjoining land. And we just felt like, well, that doesn't really work at this
Right.
point. We're exploring other options. You know, who knew 19 months ago this is what we'd still be talking about? I mean, we really didn't. We're like, we'll be back. And we're like, holy cow, $6 million is a lot of money.
Do you think there are so many 501c3s on Fort Myers Beach? Is there any way to like get them together in a building?
Well, we do have the Alliance. So
What is that?
And some people don't realize that that's kind of umbrellaed under the Women's Club. But the Alliance is basically they meet Mary, like at least once a quarter.
Yeah.
And it's basically all the nonprofits come together for meetings and they work together. So that alliance is in effect, and they've started meeting again. So yeah.
And when it was started long before the storm, just how do we best support all the nonprofits? So we're not doing events on the same day, or we're not all doing fashion shows, or we're not all doing whatever. And so Jan Fleming actually oversees that committee and coordinates people. But what nonprofits can do is when they are having events, it also goes on our website. We have a nonprofit calendar of events. But I think your specific question was about whether the Garden Club wants to join the Women's Club. Like, how do we join those forces? Right. I think that's what your specific question.
It's a multi-purpose building, like a building that a group,
other people that lost land. I mean, I don't mean to get in anybody's business, but just for an example, because I know them, the Art Association lost their building.
Yep.
They have a piece of property. You have property. Is there any way to work together so everybody can get back up faster?
And I think the presidents have talked about that.
Okay.
And I think there's two different visions.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
What we've included in our wish list, if it'll happen, is that we have like 8 lockouts in our first raised level, where nonprofits would be able to maybe rent them for $5,000 a year. They have their own space. They'd be able to use our board rooms, that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's in the design. If it's financially feasible, we don't know.
Yeah. All righty. So
back to the passports.
yes, let's talk about the passports, and if anyone wants to buy them here, where can they buy them?
They go visit all the places. They have to ask for a stamp, right?
Yeah.
They have special drinks at each of the. Oh, do not touch my hair.
I forgot to announce that she got her hair done this week. I did announce it on my walk around and how fabulous it looks. And somebody just said, "Look at that beautiful hair."
Thank
It
you.
could have been anybody though. It could have been Megan. It could have been Mary. Well, probably not Mary, but it could have been. Well, I mean, she's got her hair in a bun. She's got a bun.
That's fair.
They
Where do you
certainly
get your
weren't
hair
talking
done,
about
Megan?
you.
What?
Where do you get your hair done?
Like every day?
No, where do you get your hair
Oh.
done, Mary? Megan, you're throwing me for a loop there. I mean, I didn't think that was a hard question.
Are you getting your hair done every day?
Holy crap.
She's getting
Wow.
blowouts every day.
I literally dry my hair
Jeez.
like once a month, so it took me off guard.
Really?
Little bit. Yeah. I just go to a place off the island.
Why do women put so much time and effort into their hair?
Why
I
are
don't,
you looking at me when you
I
ask that
know.
question?
I'm not. I'm
You're
looking-
asking the 2 wrong ladies here for that.
My Aunt Sylvia is like, I don't know, she's got to be 80 years old. Like she goes every week to get her hair done. But I think it's like a social thing now where it's a New York, Long Island thing where I don't know why I got off on that tangent.
Can we talk about
because
the different?
because we're getting old,
Nope.
people.
We're
We're
gonna
getting
have to
old,
wait.
and it
We'll have
sucks
to
getting
wait a
old.
minute.
And,
Part of that is dementia.
yes, it is. What? That's why she gets her hair done. She has dementia.
You
Schedule.
forget.
Keeping
I
a
see.
schedule.
Yeah.
All right. So where were we?
So there's
Passports.
drink
Hey,
specials.
by the way,
right?
what I
Drink
was
specials.
what I
food
was thinking is why
specials,
Go ahead. Drink special.
drink specials, food specials. We've got Rude Shrimp. There's Junkanoo, Yucatan,
Hurricane
Tiki,
Tina's, Leaky Tiki,
Susie's.
La Ola, Wahoo Willie, Snug Harbor, Junkanoo Below Deck.
did you guys hear that Tom
Cabanas.
from Wawa is getting
Cabanas.
engaged?
Yes.
Well,
Oh, you
maybe
knew
it's
that?
Yeah, he
I
sent
didn't
me
know
like
that.
a picture of like their engagement dinner. I'm
Oh, he
maybe a
did?
little more
Well,
special
Well,
than you.
I guess so. I
Good
mean,
luck.
holy crow! And I
And
said
Parrot Key and Nellie's.
he's getting married in Hawaii. And I came up to him after the awards were given out. By the way, we got 2 awards. He only got 1. And I said, Tom, I know you're getting married in Hawaii. I'm not going to be able to make it. He goes, well, that's okay because you wouldn't have been invited anyway. So I was like, oh, come on, Tom. I thought we were bros. Like, he's such a good guy, though. I mean, he really
a
is
good
like
guy.
one of the nicest
He is
people
very
on the
honest.
planet. Yeah. So where were we, Megan? Get back to it. Come on.
We already read off the list. You weren't paying attention.
I'm sorry.
So they go and get a
17.
drink. They don't.
Yeah.
They can eat, but
And it's
the
different.
thing
some,
is,
some are food specials.
Some are food?
Some
Okay.
are drink I think they're all drink specials, but some have food specials.
So
Okay.
like if you go to
Yeah.
Rude Shrimp, you get if you
I'll
get
read.
2 cocktails, you get a free queso. And if you haven't been to Rude Shrimp to eat their queso, you're missing out on life because it's amazing.
So I'll read you Snug Harbors. Enjoy
Sorry, Amy.
friendly staff and grouper fresh off the boat at Snug Harbor. 1 free cocktail, beer or wine with purchase of entree, basket, or sandwich.
And then you order that and you drink it and you eat it and say, give me my stamp. And
they
then
have
you
a
move on
stamp.
to
They have
the
a real
next
stamp
place.
there. They stamp it. Right. Somebody already completed this, right? Who was the first
Yeah.
person that completed it? That's a drinker right
Is
there.
that Linda? Is that no?
You the first one that
You
finished
were?
the passport?
No.
Oh, I was gonna
Oh,
say.
okay. So the first lady, her name was Linda,
Linda.
and I know I know where she lives because I shipped it out to her.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny little story, but passports when they're ordered, we actually put tracking on all of them because
Really?
when people ask where are they, we can say, well,
So there's a chip in each passport.
No,
UPS
shipping tracking.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was gonna say, holy crap.
That's pretty awesome. That's a good idea.
I know.
I might
I'm
get on that.
so opposed to government. I'm like, I'm so
That's
afraid.
a $6 million idea there too.
We're tracking the passport. They're at Rude Shrimp right now.
We're gonna need a drink after
I know.
this. Where are we getting our
Wow.
passport stamp?
So when I guess it didn't show up for like 7 days, and then she sends an email and she's like, well, my passport, it's gone somewhere into Tampa.
Yeah.
And so it literally, and I said, well, I see exactly what you see, and if you don't want it, return it. Like, I think she finished it in 15 days because
Yeah.
she was like the first person to turn
So
in her
she
passport.
went to
That's a
seven-
lot of eating
so-
and drinking.
So she went to 17 different
15
locations in
days.
15 days.
It was quick. It was really quick,
Wow.
which
Nice.
is really
Good
impressive.
for her.
But then I got the
Is
second.
there any chance you cheated? Any
No,
chance
I
you can
looked-
cheat?
I have to. They have to turn in the passport.
And
I
then
looked
they
there.
have chips in them so you can tell
That's
when
right.
they go.
Stop
Gotcha.
telling people. The second passport came in the next day, and on Friday, another couple that were getting ready to go back to Canada, they actually came to my house because I happened to have supplies,
Yeah.
and they turned in 2 of them, so they finished them, and I just got a 5th one yesterday.
Sweet.
And so so when you finish them, you send them in and it goes into a raffle.
Well, actually, as soon as you buy them, you're eligible for raffles, and our weekly raffles will start this upcoming Thursday. And the first prize is a 1-day golf rental locally from FMB Carts or Island Carts FMB.
FMB.
You totally
That
screwed that
guy
up,
is-
Mary. You totally screwed her business up.
That guy is really approachable. I mean, we asked him,
Yeah.
he just gave us a
Yeah.
rental.
Yeah. Are we just
Well, he is Citizen of the Year.
just for clarity
Thank you, Tim
purposes?
and
Can
Dan.
I, if I get a golf cart, can I drive it on the sidewalk? Is that okay?
Ed, please.
But
I know.
our
it's-
grand prize this year is the final drawing will be 2 trips or 2 tickets on what is it on Margaritaville at Sea.
You might have heard of them.
I might have heard of them, but there is also we have a ring that we have that's like a $300 thing. Islander
A ring,
A ring. It's
like a ring that put on your
I
finger
know,
ring.
It's not for you.
I
It's fine.
see.
It's fine.
If it was a tongue ring, I'd be all in on it. The whole thing.
Do they have a gag, like a special gag that I?
For your husband.
Yeah.
It might be in the Islander bag. The Islander put
Mhm.
together a gift bag for $300. So Key West Express donated 2 round trip tickets. So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be a
Oh, yeah,
series
for
of
sure.
fun drawings. And
It's a great fundraiser. Now, what happened to I don't want to put you on the spot, Megan, but one of the great
But-
fundraisers that you had was the brewery thing, the beer thing.
For Lovers Key.
Yeah. Oh, that was for Lovers Key. Well, we're not. Do we have that coming up, or are you going to bring that
we-
back?
I'll speak to it just for a second because you're asking. We are going to bring back Beach and Brews in
Sweet.
some form at the park. Traditionally, we used to have it in November. The beach and the trolley service is not ready yet with the
Right.
bridges.
Right.
So we're working with the park and we're working with our sources to possibly do it in the spring.
Sweet. All right. Anything else?
Back to the women's club.
Anything else you want to say about the women's club? Go right ahead.
Or the
Didn't miss anything.
passports.
No, I think we did good.
Yeah, I think
And
we
so,
did
how do
good.
people get the bag?
So if you finish all the 17 stops and you can mail us the passport or you can drop it off on Mondays or Tuesdays at FMB Strong
Mhm.
and we'll
That's
process in
820 Buttonwood.
820 Buttonwood and your bag will be there on Thursday. And inside the bag too, it's actually kind of cool. There's koozies, there's a $20 discount for Key West Express, there's some flyers, and so there's more value inside the beach bag.
Awesome.
And everybody that gets finishes get that, or everybody
First
that
500.
first 500. So
So
get
you
out there
Get to
quick.
drinking.
So you still have a chance.
Who won the best hole for putt and pub? Somebody just asked that question. I don't.
I think it. Margaritaville. Oh,
Okay.
Thomas. Oh yeah,
Well,
he got the award.
Of
Yeah.
course, the question's coming from Fins Up. They sent the question,
Yeah.
so they're trying to
Yeah.
promote. Go! Don't you guys work? Go back to work over there. Are you watching the show over there? They're asking questions.
How about giving her a heads up because she's like, huh, who was it?
Oh, that was hilarious.
It seems like so long ago.
I know,
Well, it's
right?
good. He got the award, so that's why he remembers.
But
It
by
was
the
so
way-
long ago.
By the way, just you guys also were affected by the storm, which is it was so funny. I said, Tom, we did the 6 month, Tom from Loyola, we did the 6 month anniversary at your place. We're going to do the 18 month anniversary at your place. Kind of, mix things up, the 1 year and the 2 year. And I'm like, yeah, it's been 19 months. What the hell are you talking about? We can't do the 18 months. It's already past that. I mean, it just seems like things are going so fast and stuff, but you guys were wickedly affected by the storm. You were here, or you have houses here, and you lost just as much as everybody else, and rebuilding in not only part of this, but in your homes and things like that. So how are you guys doing?
We're gonna finally have an elevator next month. So
There you go.
I think we might be at the library. Unfortunately, fortunately for us, we actually, most people that know us, we evacuated at 2:00 the morning of the storm, and we had family and friends staying at our house because we do have a newer home, and some of our other friends didn't evacuate at 2:00 in the morning
And wound up at your house.
And
Wound up at their house.
and wound up staying at our house.
Thankfully.
And how high up in your house did the water come?
I think it was about 11 feet inside, but everything below, our garage doors and everything secured, so it was actually higher outside than inside. But
Oh,
it was
wow.
coming up in our elevated front door.
And so the whole bottom floor was ruined. You had a nice bottom floor there, totally ruined.
Totally
Is it
ruined.
back to normal yet?
I think pretty close.
Good. 19 months later.
19 months. Yeah.
And you guys?
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to move back into our house in August, and it's so surreal for me when I say we only had 6 feet of water in our house. It's so
Yeah.
weird, but
Right.
we live at one of the highest points on the island. But we do have a 1-story home, so it wipes out everything in the house. But we are fortunate; we're back in our house. We still have punch list items that are going to go on for a while.
Right.
My husband doesn't get to
Just
those
make sure
too
you
quickly.
follow FEMA's rules, because for
Yes.
some reason they got to crop their ass in the last few weeks, and they just
Please,
want to screw
yes.
everybody they can.
Follow
So
the rules.
thank you guys for coming on. Big
Thank you.
hand for our friends
Get your
from the Women's Club.
passports.
Thank you all.
And by the way, our 5K race is to benefit the Women's Club. So even if you're not going to run, it's only $30 to register. So it's not the end of the world. And it would be great if you could run or walk. It's a walk or a run on the beautiful beach here at Fort Myers Beach. And it's in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today. So, speaking of big money, why don't we just ask Alex King to write a $6 million check for the Women's Club? But if he can't, we're happy that he sponsors our dinky little podcast. Alex King's phone number is, and we saw Alex last night. If you were at the chamber thing last night, you would have seen it was a Hawaiian luau kind of thing. And he was up there dancing with the Hawaiian folks, Hawaiians. And they must have shipped in like real Hawaiians, because they were doing really Hawaiian dances. Or somebody around town looks Hawaiian and they know how to dance Hawaiian. But he was up there doing the whole thing with his hands like he knew the dances, like he had practiced that before. But if you want to buy or sell your property here on Fort Myers Beach, Alex King is the man to call. In addition to giving away all that money that he does from the King Foundation, he's one person that you can trust on Fort Myers Beach if you're buying or selling property. And we finally got to see his wife again last night. Boy, that's a firecracker right there. So the two of them together are a dynamic duo here on Fort Myers Beach. But give Alex King a call at 239-849-3663. 239-849-3663. It's time for our next guest, ladies and gentlemen. And here he is in probably one of the most relaxed interviews we're going to have with the owner of this resort right here, Tom Torgerson. Big hand for Tom, everybody. Our good friend for many, many years, for many, many reasons. And Tom, thank you for coming to the show, man.
Thank you.
How are you?
Doing great.
Yes.
I just can't stop chuckling from that stand-up comedy routine that you guys have been doing this morning. I've just been back there laughing my ass off.
It's mostly me. I'm the
We're
comedian.
available for private gigs if you ever need.
It wouldn't be funny if she didn't have the
I
whip
know.
and she just got a lashing at him.
By the way, this setup that we have here on the
Oh,
grass is
yeah,
just
we can't thank you
unbelievable,
enough.
man.
It's great.
I mean, we experimented with different things when the resort first opened, and We weren't sure where it was going to work, but this is so perfect
Yep.
because we have the building that kind
You
of
guys have been very
Yes.
patient with Mr.
Anal,
Hard to
Mr.
please.
Anal. And the building blocks the sun, and Robin's great, and we love baby Kia, and we can't wait until she's born in 52 weeks. But and your staff is they're just so awesome, man. And how are in your opinion, how are things going right now?
I think we have these lawns labeled. So that's lawn number 1 behind us. This is lawn number 2 and lawn number 3 over there. I think we have to relabel this one Beach Talk Radio Lawn.
I know. Well, I think we should spray paint the grass with our logo
let's
on
not
it.
get crazy.
No, it'd be great. It'd be great. No, and
Washable paint.
It is a perfect setting.
yeah. And so
it
what
is.
happened, the way it happened was you had a cornhole tournament that was going on the other lawn. And Travis called me and said, we have to move you to the other side. And I'm like, oh, man, come on. I get settled. But we were actually fighting with some of the customers over there. They were having breakfast.
Not fighting.
No, you know what I mean. But we're trying to figure out how to get the folks that like to come to the show. How do they sit while you guys are trying to make money?
Talking over each
Yeah,
other.
yeah. And so they moved us over here, and it turned out to be the perfect mix of being in the right spot and having specific attention from Robin and your staff, and it works out great. And you have that whole area which people love to sit at and have breakfast.
And you selfishly have the best view of the whole audience. You get to look out at the water and the palm trees.
I know.
And it's just gorgeous view.
I know. We might have. Maybe we should. I guess we can't really flip ourselves around because then we would again have
the golf in the background.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to change things. I like the way things are going right now. So. Speaking of, well, go ahead. Tell everybody how you think things are going. I mean, 9 years, many millions of dollars, and you had a killer season. I mean, there were so many people here.
We are very happy to be where we're at today. By design, we were going to open September 1st or thereabouts of this last year, and that would have been perfect for us to open right out of season and with the low volume and work with our team to build them and get our rhythm and systems in place and whatnot. Well, that didn't happen due to that little event on later in September of the year prior. So that thrusted us into opening right into season, which is the worst possible option that we would have ever wanted to impose on ourselves. But and then to further complicate it, we opened piecemeal in phases. So I think it was right around December 9th, didn't we have your event? And that was kind of the first phase of opening the resort and starting to get our team, used to customers. and doing what they want to do. And then open in phases. And it wasn't really until February 1st that every aspect of the resort was functional. So March was really our first month. And you're opening at the peak month of, with all your operations of the season. So, did we have a great season? It was short because of Easter, but our team is amazing. They are amazing. And excuse me, I get choked up. I'm so proud of them. They've overcome so much. You have no idea. 450 people opening into March with 6 restaurants and everything else that we have to offer. And the challenges were unbelievable, just unbelievable. The people that just rose to the top, the cream just rose, and everybody here loves their job. And you would know it because you see how happy they are. We have a great culture in our company in Minnesota, and John Dameron and I, we talked forever that what we don't want to do is create a silo down here where this is its own culture and not part of the TPI culture. And I think we did an excellent job of breeding the TPI culture into the Margaritaville, Fort Myers Beach. And the employees just love it. I mean, they bend over backwards for you guys, for us, for any customer in here. They're entertainers first and foremost. I hate to call them employees, more affectionately associates, but really they're entertainers. And that's what the brand is all about. That's what our company is all about. Just terribly proud of them. Our executive team is so deep, so strong, so creative. we've been really focused on just operating the resort, really opening into March with our full operation. And that was all consuming. Now, just kind of coming out to shoulder season, we're able to take 10 steps back. And in doing so, we've established priorities. We're going to immerse ourselves more into community and local market, with rings going out around Fort Myers Beach into Lee County and all of Southwest Florida, and really go after that business, which is loyal year-round business, that we weren't able to coming out of the gate, just being overwhelmed with everything.
I always felt like.
Let me just say that, when we came on December 9th, right there, I'm right off the bat, you noticed a difference from any other place that I've ever been, because everybody, no matter what, hello, how are you? How's your day? I mean, it didn't matter. I've been in the bathroom here and had wonderful conversations with the folks in there. Like, I'm going to be right out. And they're like, take your time. Take your time. They're so nice. And everybody, it's like we moved from the north to the south.
I really
one time,
do love the bathrooms.
And the hello, like, people
Toilet
talk
paper
to you.
is soft.
That's like here. You get that southern charm, that friendly, warm. What can we do for you? They're never flustered. They're never frustrated. The night that we spent here was exquisite. And I mean, I can't tell you enough how different that is than many, many other experiences. So kudos to you and the staff and the whole group of y'all, all y'all.
Well, I would not wish on anybody the challenge of opening this resort. But I really wouldn't. There's some dark days. And
you amazingly look well, because I think you might have aged 27 years in this process.
There's a good thing that you're not emotionally involved in this resort, Tom. Can you imagine if you were?
Well, this was kind of to say it mildly, a little bit big for John and I to bite off. We have a great company in aggregate. We have quite a few assets and whatnot, but we've never tackled something of this magnitude. And so that alone just made it extra challenging.
Yeah.
But we're emotionally attached because of that. It's not like we have pumped out, 10 of these widgets.
Yeah.
I can say Margaritaville, every single resort is different. This resort has quickly become Margaritaville's prized marketing tool.
No way.
Of all the ones in their system in the Caribbean and in the United States coastal, whether it's in Tennessee or Manhattan.
How many total do they have? Do you know?
I don't even know how many actual resorts they have, and they've got so many in the pipeline, but they spread them around. For example, the next closest one to here, because we control the area of protection, cannot occur unless it's like in Tampa. It's that far away, or it has to be south of Homestead.
It's not like 7-Eleven where you can have one on every corner.
No, they're one of a kind, every single one. The ownership gets to design their resort. Margaritaville works hand in hand with us to put the sizzle, the culture, the art, and the feel of what Margaritaville brand is. But the facility itself, they're all different. They're all different.
And
Go ahead. This is a little bit emotional, but the 9 years you talked about that. What is it in you that made you get through those days? I mean, first of all, it's a big project. And if it had gone off without a hitch, with all the hitches that, can remain nameless or named, how unnamed by me.
This hotel should be 5 years old right now, this resort.
Unnamed by us. But what is in you and your family and John and your group to not go, okay, we give in? Yeah. I mean, it was, amongst other things, a category 5 storm.
Let's go back to an ugly parking lot.
Well, thank you. Yeah, really, Mary and John and Tracy, the four of us stuck together.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah.
It really is.
I mean,
we're
really,
we're best friends. We travel together through all the challenges. We just, the bond has just become stronger.
All right, keep it together now, bro. Come on.
Okay.
Now, we got a lot of questions
more.
now. Come on. Do you want a drink or something? You want a beer? I mean, I get a discount here. You want a beer?
Certainly.
let me see. What I wanted to ask you was shit. Now I totally lost my train of thought. So the pool. I wanted to talk about the pool. The attraction of the pool is something that I think can carry this resort through the summer, unlike other areas on the beach where the season ends and the season's over until you're scrapping for scraps. You see that pool on the water the way it is, and that's got to be something that you pull people into because it's so beautiful.
We failed with our first go around here on Fort Myers Beach with the project called Grand Resorts. And there's a few people that will remember that, but that dates back in the early 2 years of the 9+ years now of getting to the point that we're at today. But when we abandoned that project and took 10 steps back and brought focus groups in, some of our most ardent opposed parties, with the Grand Resort project and work with community on those focus groups and whatnot, we came to an epiphany that the resort didn't have to be on the beach, that it really could be across from the beach because of Crescent Beach Park, and that we could have a view corridor that everybody enjoys. Coming over the bridge, winding around Estero Boulevard and going down the boulevard. If we put our pool and our entertainment complex there, and we were actually on our boat and we were cruising either to or from Key West, and just a nice slow cruise all day, just gorgeous out there. And our architect was with me, and we have what they call bumwad, architect sketch on bumwad, and because you can overlay it on plans and stuff. And he and I are up there in the bridge, and I'm supposed to be driving the boat, but Mary's in the captain's seat. She's watching to make sure we don't run anything over. It's on autopilot. He and I are drawing on the table.
Wow.
And I said, we need something that Southwest Florida has never had. And I've had these experiences in Vegas with their day clubs. And I said, we need to put that on the beach. And I'm getting a beer.
Did you get him the discount?
We need to put that on the beach. And this is before Margaritaville was even a possibility of a brand. And it was, we labeled it the Reef Club. The Reef Beach Club was what we came up with the name for it. But it's literally this exact design. And then we got the aquatic engineers involved, and they'd done a lot of water parks. And I kept telling them, this is not a water park.
Right.
We don't want this to be some kind of, apparatuses throwing people around and doing this and that. This is and I used to get told in public, you can't say this, Tom, but this is an adult entertainment beach club.
Right.
Yeah, we have a kid zone and we do kid rec activities and all that stuff. Really, this is a high energy entertainment zone. And so the aquatic engineers came back with their first rendition off of our bumwad sketch. They had this island, they had these bridges, they had this lazy river. And I go, no.
Too much.
The focus of this is going to be the stage that jets out into the pool. And you got to get all these obstructions out of here so everybody can see it, and everybody in the zone is a part of the energy. And I'm not going to be happy if it isn't asshole to elbows in front of that stage. And they're like, oh, I get it. And so the funny thing is, the island comes out, the bridges come out, and the lazy river comes out. And then we have to build 200,000-gallon vaults under that pool, or alongside the pool, but underground, because when you think about loading 500 people in there, what happens to the water? Where does it displace? And so the gravity flows into these vaults under there. And then as everybody take one at a time, they step out, the water comes back into the pool. So anyway, there's a lot of history behind how this laid itself out.
And I remember getting the tours of, some of you probably watched some of the tours you took us on back before it opened up. And in your mind, you can never picture from what you were showing us at the time that it was going to turn out to be what it turned out to be, because you can't, you way smarter people. Smarter people than me.
And you're not even, you're
that.
below average.
Yeah, the Fins Up Beach Club with 5 o'clock summer is an iconic piece to this resort. This Sunset Terrace, License to Chill, this also is as well.
So just to go back for folks that don't know, a tad bit of history, because this resort idea goes back before we even started the show at Pete's Time Out. Like the show is going to be 6 years old. You started this project 9 years ago. And then, so I start watching these meetings where he's getting basically extorted by the town council. He's getting screwed in the ass by this. The town council wants everything. At the time, the town council, and I know I take Anita out of that group because I love Anita, and I think it's a different.
Oh, she was pretty hard on me too behind doors.
Okay, but so we're watching, and I'm like, I can't believe that they don't want something like this. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And then other things happen, and the lawsuits happen, and it's like you just keep going and you keep fighting. I couldn't understand it back at the time. We didn't even know you. We were just covering it as if I can't believe that they wouldn't want something this nice, because obviously the place over here was a dump. It was a dump. But you remember the McDonald's and the parking lot and it was just a dump. And I'm like, I can't believe these people want it to still be a dump, that they didn't want it to turn out to the way it is. And my point is, fast forward. There are still people that bitch about Margaritaville. And the one other point I wanted to make was, at the time, it wasn't Margaritaville. When you announced the brand, I had a Woody. I mean, it was just like, I am such a Jimmy Buffett fan. When they announced the brand, I'm like, this is the greatest thing of all time. Pecker. You wanted me to say Pecker, right, David? I mean, you were looking at me like, say Pecker. And so, and then when you announced the brand, I'm like, how great is that going to be?
A short story on the brand was, now I'm a bicycle guy. I ride my bicycle all over the place. You'll see me. You probably don't recognize me. I got my cap on, my sunglasses, and look like a bum. And I got this big fat tire bike, and no, it's not electric. And so I do go on the sidewalk at times. I got stopped about 3 weeks ago. Very friendly guy. He wanted me to stop, and it was actually right over here by the surf club, the defunct surf club. And so I stopped. I'm thinking he's looking for directions or something. He says, you can't have e-bikes on the sidewalk. I go, this isn't an e-bike. And he goes, it isn't. Well, I'm sorry, but I just, don't want to stop people from riding e-bikes on the sidewalk. Was that the mayor? No, it really was somebody out of the blue.
So what was the purpose of that story?
I don't think there was one, but
you totally interrupted my funny story, and so
okay, I was going to tell you about the brand.
Yeah.
So I got into bicycles because now I ride bicycle. I used to walk.
Take his
Somebody
beer away.
Throw me a life preserver right now. I am in deep.
To its for sale, King's Landing, I think it was called. It had the cigar hut, and John, well, we could expand it a little bit and buy that property, and said, okay, let's do it. And one thing led to another, and that happened 6 times in total by the time we assembled all the property. So I have a walking problem. So I'm out walking one day, and
That's an expensive, cheap habit you have.
Well, our banker says, we're at a convention.
Stop walking.
We're at a break. He did. So our primary banker, there's 3 brothers that own the bank, the Forstroms, and John and Tracy and Mary and I were at a call it a mini convention with these folks, and 2 of the brothers weren't with us. And at the dinner table that night, John tells a story about the walking and picking up and buying the properties. So the next day, Philip calls his brothers and tells them the story. And Perry says, for God's sake, Philip, tell Tom to get a treadmill. So anyway, I could go on and on, but I was walking the beach one day, and it was winter of 18. I think it was March, because we were approved May of 18 through the town council. And I was walking the beach, and I hardly ever take a cold call where Rolodex doesn't pop up and tell me who it is. But I did that day, and it was Margaritaville. And they said, I picked up on this project you guys got going down there, and wondered if you'd like to talk to us. Maybe the Margaritaville brand could play a role in this project.
Now, for those of us that don't operate, hotels and stuff, what is it like to get that? Like, is that a big deal? Or were you like, I don't really know. I got my own thing going.
We had our own thing going, and we were going to be independent, and we'd considered all the big brands, the Hyatt, the Hilton, the Marriott, the IHG. We'd considered all those, the Wyndhams, and we decided to be independent at that point. We were absolutely committed to be independent. But that, we even talked about Hard Rock, and that still didn't click. We ran the gamut of sorting through and filtering all the different brands, and we just said, no, we want to be independent. But when I got that call, the light bulbs just boom.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Do you think the brand of Margaritaville brings more revenue, more people here than you would have had if you had, Marriott it's such a cult following, which I'm in.
It's fitting.
It so fits.
Yes.
It so
Yes.
fits. So in this situation, absolutely. I can tell you, for example, Hollywood Beach, Margaritaville, which was the flagship before this one. This one's now the flagship, but that was the previous flagship for the brand. That restored an area of Hollywood Beach that was pretty much in disarray, like this downtown district that we redeveloped here. And they redeveloped that district or that hotel, added juice to the rejuvenation of that district. But not only that, that hotel performs higher than all the hotels on the Fort Lauderdale Boardwalk.
Wow.
The Conrad, all the high-end hotels that hotel outperforms them.
So how much were those sunglasses you have on there? What kind of glasses are they?
Those are Oakley's, right?
These are prescriptions, so they're
Wow.
Oh, well, yeah.
So what do you think they were? 300?
yeah,
Yeah,
I think
300.
so.
So you're not sitting on
Prescription
those, right?
glasses are different.
Right, because it
Yeah.
helps you see, and you can wear them in the sun. But they're
Yeah.
really cool. Like you're really.
You
Johnny
like the
cool.
wraparound ones.
Yeah.
He's got a
They're
pair from
polarized, and
1980.
I do a lot of boating, so they're great on the water.
Yeah.
But
So enough about the fluffy questions, Tom. Let's get down to
Oh, boy.
brass tacks here. So
should I
when you, have a drink if you want. You haven't had anything to drink right there. So.
Take a minute.
Yeah. So when you saw the picture of Times, wait, let me back up before I ask about Times Square. When you went through a lobotomy to get this place open from the local government, when you see these other developments come up and they're trying
That's
to
not
find
a great example.
and they're
but-
trying to find secret ways or special ways or quick ways to be built, understanding that there was a storm, what do you think?
Well, I think it's all about collaborative, cooperative, interactive work with the community and the LPA and the council. And I don't think it's about dictation. I learned the lesson. I got a PhD in development in Fort Myers Beach here with the Grand Resorts Project. I think that this community is vocal. They're very committed, and they really.
Are you
love
running
the
for
his-
office,
they
or are
love
you
the
going to
his-
answer my
They
question?
love
I
the
mean,
history, and the vibe that really is here
Yeah.
and has been here. And I think some of the approaches could be criticized for ignoring or being bullies, quite honestly. Now, there's some of the developers out there, Seagate and in London Bay, that are very upfront and working with our town and showing their hand. And I say it's the opposite of shadow boxing, which some of the others are doing. I think there's ulterior motives with some. I don't think you can trust everybody. So
Okay.
you really want me
Wow.
to
Wait.
Yeah.
So if you go back and watch any of these meetings from 8-9 years ago, whatever it was, Tom will be sitting in these meetings, and unfortunately, the council was there saying, "Let's ask him for this. Let's ask him for that. Let's ask him for more." And Tom would be like,
kids
"Oh,
there.
okay. You want that piece of property out here? Or you want a free parking lot over there? Sure, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you." And do you remember those days, Tom? Do you remember them? Or am I rattling your memory
They
at all?
were all good decisions, though. Quite honestly.
Okay. All right. All right.
They're all good decisions.
All right.
But
Let me ask the
for
question. then.
example, you asked Times Square.
No, don't jump ahead.
Oh, he's got this whole
Yeah,
dictated
yes.
out.
My question is, you see, let's start with the Outrigger property. You see London Bay's got a proposal for 17-ish stories. Yes or no if you're on the LPA?
Well, I can't say yes or no because I
Oh my
can tell
God,
you
Dan.
that I can
Oh my
tell
God,
you,
Dan.
I can tell you that they should listen to them. They should really work with them because the spirit that they're extending forward. They have thoughts. It's a different location. It's not in the village downtown district of Fort Myers Beach, which sets the whole vibe for the island. You know, mid and south, as they call it. South. South is really out there to Key West. That's actually east, but I call it down island. It's a different feel, and we need that piece of the island. We really miss the concentration of those condos.
Yeah.
We really miss them.
Okay.
Dearly, we
number
miss them.
Number two. Moss Marina's got 3 hotels up for a proposal. You a
3
yes
or
or no
4?
on that? Or whatever. 3. I think it's 3.
I'm not voting up or down on a darn thing, but I think the approach is wrong. I think their approach is wrong. I think they're bullies. I think they should show their hand and forget this shadow boxing stuff. Don't come at this town with we want our zoning first or we're not going to talk. Bullshit. Show us your hand. Show us what you really want to do. And then we'll talk about zoning. You can't piecemeal it. Well, you can, but they'll take advantage of you. And that's what's happening there.
Do you think?
Tell us how you really feel.
No, that was thank you.
good.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Do you think that maybe what we have in the elected positions might be too naive to understand what you just said in some of those elected positions or not?
I don't know if I'd call it naive. I think pretty much all of them have their eyes wide open. There's just different agendas.
Okay.
And
not all of it represents the community.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the community has to get vocal. You guys have to stand up. This council will listen to you.
Yes, for
They
sure.
will.
That's for sure.
But you got to take responsibility.
But if you don't say
You're going
anything,
to get run over. You're going to
Yes.
get run over if you don't.
And I just want to say, you know, you talk about this community, for those who don't know, and I doubt anybody doesn't know, but you live in this community. It's not like you built this building and you're somewhere else. You live in this community. You breathe this community. You bleed this community. So
Yeah.
it is very,
got a little shack
important
over
to
there
you.
on the
Yeah.
bay, right?
yeah, it's got a small little
We
place.
had a few more before Ian.
So the Times Square thing comes out, and I know I'm a little what's the right word?
I don't know. What are you trying to convey?
I strategy. They showed something that's beyond the comprehensive plan. It's impossible. It's never going to get approved. But they're staging themselves. You know, sure, we would love that to be a park, connect Lynn Hall and Crescent Beach, and they know it. So they're positioning themselves. It's like, okay, you want this? Well, look at what we could have here.
And then we'll scale it back.
It's posturing. They know they can't do that. They would never get approved. And that's why they didn't really invest much into the sex appeal of it.
It's ugly,
it's
man.
why it looks
totally
it's
ugly.
why it looks the way it does. But we need you people to speak out and disclose the motives behind what's going on.
Mhm.
There's people with great motives. There really are. But there's a few bad apples, and you got to take hold. And if we're going to save this town, we have to speak out and be vocal.
All right, just between us, who are the bad apples?
People that don't show their real hand.
Yeah.
Be up front and show your hand. That's telling.
This
Any
thing
developer, that's why I
about
say London Bay and Seagate. Just show you their hand.
yeah, they know you're gonna. This is what you're gonna get.
Let's work together.
Yeah.
And the spirit is of that as well.
Do you think the rebuild is going too slow?
We did a Beach Talk show shortly after Ian.
Beach Talk Radio, just to be
Well,
official.
Okay.
Well, it was a video, so it was a show.
All right.
And I think it was in the man cave, as I recall.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
And it was in the man cave. And excuse me, Jim Matterholt, for sharing this, but dear friend, he and Brenda love him to death. I said, it's going to take 5 to 7 years in that interview. And the first call I got the next morning was Jim Matterholt.
Don't say that.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
We need to.
I just said it was a year. I remember him saying that. And people were like,
And we did get it cleaned up in a year, and he was right. And he was right for the right reasons. We're all down.
He said, for the record, he said a functional paradise in 1 year. He didn't say a total rebuild.
I know it. And I don't know if there's anybody that could own property here, live here, spend time here, that went through Ian that doesn't have PTSD to
Yes, for
one
sure.
degree or another.
Yeah. You look at even today walking around, we're talking 19, 20 months later, there are buildings that haven't been touched. I mean, there people are dealing with stuff they've never had to deal with in their life. I was talking to a nice lady today who said her 86-year-old father was living in a place and he lost everything. And so he's got to make a decision of whether or not to rebuild at 86.
Yeah, and
That's a 5-year project.
Right.
Yep, it is. My man cave, my neighbor hasn't been around this year, and he's got a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo up by Pink Shell up there, which isn't operable yet, as you guys know from the condos. It's either all CO'd, occupied or not one. And so he bought a place over in Singer Island. I said, well, that explains it. He said, yeah, we got a great winter over there. I mean, people have to make their decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of people have moved to Gulf Harbor. That people, have left the area because life's short, right?
Yeah.
And we have to face that. But we will bring in new people, and we will be very strong again. We're going to be different, but we can guide this development and maintain this village downtown feel.
Yeah.
And that's what is really going to be on the map as to what Fort Myers Beach is.
Okay.
It's the Duval Street in the historic seaport that is really what you think of in Key West. It's not the whole island.
Mm-hmm.
It's those two districts. What you think of in Fort Myers Beach is this downtown district. And we need to save that and be dedicated as citizens to support that effort.
Now, talking about Times Square, putting something over there is going to be high because they have to start at what, 19 feet?
Yeah, 2 stories over flood. They proposed 4 stories, 3 stories over flood.
And
Will that block the view?
It'll block some view. It's directly aligned with the bridge, but there's some things you can't control. I mean, they have their build rights, and nobody can you can't take that away from people.
Right.
So they have their build rights. What they proposed is not within their build rights, but they do have their build rights and highly support, protecting those rights.
Yeah.
But when you do come over the bridge, I will tell you, and I don't know that there's anything you can do about this unless the county steps in town or through grants and whatnot and buys that property, but and makes it park. But when you come over that bridge, you're going to be looking right into that.
right.
That you get,
Which is what
you get 1/3 of the way down the bridge, and you no longer are going to see water.
Yeah. So one of the things that I want people to remember or realize is that when the previous town councils were extorting all that stuff from you, one of the things that you had proposed was a seawall that would have run, I don't know how far, but that seawall, I don't know if I could agree that 100% it would have protected Times Square, but it would have been different. So explain to people what you had in that plan before they kiboshed it.
That is the only thing with Grand Resorts that I really feel I grieve that the town didn't wrap
Take
their arms
advantage.
around.
Mhm.
And we had $2 million of sunk costs. So this is a long time ago. This is 7-8 years ago of sunk costs in that Grand Resorts project. But of that, over $500,000 was in engineering and design of this coastal protection system. And if you go to Clearwater Beach, now I'm not saying Clearwater Beach because we want this concentration of high urban feel, but they have a beautiful beach. If you walk along their boardwalk, you would never know that there's an armoring wall under that boardwalk that breaks up the velocity of the wave action. So yeah, you still get the flooding, you still get the surge, the elevation of it, but this is
You don't get
velocity.
the pounding.
Yeah, this is the velocity zone up here, and you don't get that. You don't get that pounding, and that's what that would have done. We had Edison House on board all the way down to Shuckers.
Wow.
We couldn't get around Shuckers because of how far they projected forward.
Yep.
Even the Pierside Grill, we had it going right through where the indoor booths were.
Wow.
We had it going under that building and
kidding.
through there.
I don't know how many people know that story.
Yeah.
Oh boy, not many none of them are right here right now.
Yeah. Why did they reject that? Because it was part of the larger plan?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think it had a stigma that they just didn't want to touch it. And even I understand the Grand Resorts plan, which was like a Moss Marine plan, wasn't being accepted by the community, but they were so over that plan that they couldn't pick out the goodness of it.
Yeah.
It's just too emotional.
In your opinion, and I know it's a crapshoot to think back, but if that wall was there, would those Times Square, would Pete's Timeout still be there?
I don't know. They would have been severely damaged because they would have gone underwater.
Yep.
And you can't prevent that. But what they could do is build back at grade level.
Oh, really?
Because that changes the velocity zone and moves it forward of that
okay.
armoring wall. So they would have had full build rights from ground up if they were lost. So they either would have been salvaged.
Who knew that?
Or they'd have ground up build rights. So we would be able to have ground up build rights.
Wow.
So if
You'd
that
have,
wall
you
was
would have
in,
bathrooms at the grade level.
well, that's what I'm. So if
in the
that
park
wall was
and
here,
everywhere.
if that was
Crazy.
here, then and this happened, and this was what the result was, they could then turn around. They wouldn't have to build up. It would have. They could have stayed at where they were.
And correct.
So we would not be having the discussion we just had.
Correct.
About Times Square.
Absolutely.
So
and,
why
and we
not-
gave those plans to the town. We donated them.
And you would have paid for it.
Yes, we donated
Wow.
them. And then actually Dan Ehlers about 6 months ago asked me, Tom, because we've had a little turnover at the town.
Really?
They couldn't find them.
Yeah.
Said, like to revisit that. And so I sent him the files again about 6 months ago.
Why not do it now? Why not save it for the next storm?
I don't
If
know.
you did
But
it
you're
now,
not paying for it now. Screw them.
I'm not a politician. I'm
No.
not into politics.
Yeah.
I'm not very heavy on social media.
I think you've paid for enough, by the way. So one of the things that really pisses me off, Tom, is I don't understand why people have this negative. My page, damn it! I've told people to f off on my page. How many times? The negativity about Margaritaville is so old right now. You need to stop doing it. I don't care what you think. I'm blocking you, and then they're claiming their free speech is being violated. And of course, I'm not the government, so I can't violate anybody's free speech. That's how dumb these people are.
you
But
can
why-
violate our ears, but not our
but
free
why,
speech.
why do people if your rates are this and Diamond Head's rates are the same thing or the Pink Shell's rates are the same thing, why does Margaritaville get the brunt of the BS?
I pretty much ignore it. Mary can't, but I pretty
Thank
much
you, Mary.
ignore
I'm
it.
in the same boat as you are.
And the thing that probably does cut is when they call up and talk to our people at the front desk and shout in their ear or something. That
Right.
hurts. I mean, my number is 612-747-3770. Call me.
Right.
Yeah. But do you I mean
Call him.
but what is I mean
It's
what is
comical. I mean,
why though? I
we
mean
have nothing to do with that stoplight. That's been
oh, come on, Tom.
FDOT's plan for
Come
years and years.
Cut the
We
shit,
had nothing
Tom.
to do with this.
I saw you putting that stoplight in yourself.
Stoplight over at Old San Carlos and Estero Boulevard. This summer they'll start construction on
Yeah.
the stoplight right here at the curve. Well, just before the curve at the base of the bridge. We have nothing to do with that. Then after that, there's going to be a stoplight on the other side of the bridge, right at the base of the bridge. We have nothing to do with this. The
Yes.
oval about is going to get done. We have nothing to do with
What's
this.
it called?
If you want to keep attacking us,
Listen,
go ahead.
So
But don't call our employees, please.
Yes, please. They're so nice, and they're pregnant for crying out loud. Leave them alone, right? So when they do this thing down here, what they're doing, if the state ever gets their shit together and they start this development down here, you're responsible eventually for the shrubs. Like you're responsible for making sure people don't jaywalk.
The town really wanted to upgrade the landscape as a part of that project, and the funding would only allow for the project funding would only allow for it to meet FDOT and LEDOT standards, and the town really wanted to have
Above.
something special at the entrance, the arrival to the island. And so the former town manager reached out to me. He said, Tom, we really want to, go after this. And here's the landscape plan that we want to do. And it's really lush and it's really beautiful. And he said, but, if we do this and we pay extra to get it done, they won't maintain it because it's above and beyond what they technically can do. There's some term for it, but I don't know what it is. And would you guys, you and John and Margaritaville be willing to take that over? And so we did.
Why? Why would you do that? I wouldn't do that. Why are you doing
us.
that?
They
oh,
paid
they're
us.
paying you. Okay. Well,
They're
that's
paying
good
us $1
then.
million a year.
Oh, no joke.
Fully
Oh,
joking.
okay. Oh,
No,
you're joking.
fully joking. Oh,
mean,
that was
seriously.
a good
No,
one.
you're paying
You
for
cast it out. And
You're paying for it.
Yeah, we do get one perk. In the process, we negotiated to widen Estero Boulevard, but we gave more land to do it. So we got wider sidewalks on this side of the road. because of that, because we donated land. And then we got the left turn lane at that stoplight that we have nothing to do with. We got it extended all the way down to the corner so there can be a left turn lane without stopping traffic from flowing down Island. And we got approval to do that. And we built those sidewalks at our expense. We redid the roadway at our expense. We'll maintain the landscape at our expense. And we will also get a sign. It's going to be, just a roadway sign, just in the traditional highway signage that says, I think it's going to say Margaritaville entrance and have a left arrow.
Oh, you got a sign. What you're saying is you got a sign out of the whole deal.
Sign. And you got a nice wide sidewalk to ride your bike.
Everybody benefits from that because there is confusion. People want to get to Margaritaville and where's the front door? And if they're in the right lane, that impedes traffic. So there is a public benefit and so, our guests benefit from it too.
Right.
So that's what we get
for
into eternity.
Yes. Yeah. For people that complain about the prices of the room or the prices of the drinks or the prices of the food, how much money do you have invested in this resort?
With or without Ian, you almost
Total
have to
money.
put Ian in because it's a fact of life.
Total dollar amount invested in this.
If you add Ian in, we break $200 million.
$200 million. And so when people bitch about $189 for a room or $220 for a room, the problem is that the people that are coming are not bitching. They want to be here. They want to be on Fort Myers Beach. They want to be in. You can't ask for a better location than coming over that bridge and pulling into the parking lot and not having to worry about anything because you can walk to everywhere.
Well, we want you to stay here, but you don't have to stay here to enjoy it. That came across the wrong way. Sorry.
They're not putting
what I mean
shot
is that
collars on people.
Right from the get-go, we promoted that this is open to the public. You
Yes.
can walk through every aspect
and dog
of this
friendly.
resort. And please mind your dog, but we're dog friendly.
Yes.
Okay, I know what he's saying. You bring your dogs out and they're pissing on the grass, for crying out loud. Take your dog somewhere else to piss because we have a show to do here. We don't want the dogs on the grass.
I think you can they clean it off.
This is all self-draining.
Yes.
So we can flood this, which we do, but we still don't want the dogs to pee in here.
Right.
Thank you.
But we did kind of get off into a rabbit hole.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Hole.
Oh boy, you too.
Yeah. There. What other questions you have for Tom?
I
know I've kind of monopolized Tom's time here, but you don't really
Tom
need to.
has monopolized.
You don't really need to
his
ask Tom questions when he's on the show.
I didn't realize you had so much Italian in you either with the hand gestures. I took a couple
Well, I really enjoy being here and sharing. It's been an emotional ride, as you can tell. So happy to be here and our staff. I mean, just fantastic. Yes, we'll have a new general manager really soon.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Probably this coming week.
Oh, cool.
I'm not going to make any announcements because a decision's not made.
Okay,
actually,
cool. But
Robert
David,
Kisabeth will make the ultimate decision.
I saw him standing around. I thought he might come on.
And we have in our company, we have the talent. I can just say that we will not be going outside of the company.
Oh,
Sweet.
good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and David did a great job opening the resort. He was very friendly, and everybody loved him. And he
absolutely.
He picked up a great job where he doesn't have to drive in traffic. So, I mean, I imagine opening a resort like that under all that pressure is probably a lot of work too. Yeah. So
he will tell you, as he did when we hugged and cried, on his last day, that he's never taken on a challenge like this before in his life.
Yeah.
Tom, you're killing us today. God, man. Jeez.
This thing is a beast. I mean, it is. We're dealing with out of the gate, things that you just don't think of. So we get deliveries, right? We have our loading dock behind us. So we're dealing with all of a sudden stacking up of pallets because we don't get deliveries with little two-wheel dollies.
Right.
They come here with forklifts and pallets. And we were dealing with having to recycle 75 pallets a week because our loading dock would just plug up. You go 2 weeks with 75 pallets times 2, you can't take deliveries. We've had to build a walk-in, refrigerator and freezer at the loading dock just to be able to receive and distribute it. The challenges have been unbelievable. We do about 2/3 of our revenue is not hotel related. This is an entertainment complex, and
Yes.
everybody
Yes.
here, all of our entertainers will tell you this is an entertainment complex.
But just
this
for,
is
just
not
let
a
me ask you a
hotel. We
question.
do have rooms.
When you have entertainers like your DJs or your bands, do they draw this kind of audience
Oh, here we
that
go.
we draw? I mean, these people are here.
Nobody's as consistent and as predictable
you.
as you.
Predictable. Wow, that hurt.
That was good. That was good.
So the other thing that I wanted to mention was, if it wasn't for this resort opening at the time that it opened, when that freaking hurricane came through here, and it was so funny because I have a text relationship with Tom when the storm came through, and I was like, Tom,
Should I be jealous?
no, is it okay if I go up in the through the walk around thing that we had up there? Yeah, go up there. And the stairs weren't built. And of course I'm afraid of heights. So I'm hugging the wall to try and get up there because I'm so afraid. And I'm taking video of people coming over the bridge for the first time from up there. And of course your developers are calling you and telling, why is that asshole up there, and get him off there? Why is he, who let him to go up there? But the time that this opened was, it couldn't have happened. I know it doesn't seem like it was perfect, but the way it opened, the time it opened, was really the best thing for the Fort Myers Beach community. Because it would have been totally devastated if it wasn't open.
Mhm.
Thank you. I know it's a long-winded thing, but thank you.
And it really wasn't a question. Yeah.
No,
Right. Dave's giving you the wrap
Dave,
it up.
Dave, go home, man. Come on. Dave's on the MRF
Question.
committee. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. We can't hear you. You have to come up. So we have to hear it on the mic for the Facebook crowd. Okay, we're talking about the corner here.
That's the oval about. The oval about will consume the land that we donated at the base of the bridge, heavily landscaped. But there is excess property, and that is what I think you're referring to. And it's snugged up right against our terrace wall over here. And that's where Lee County has decided they want to have the open air tram operation base out of, and it'll have circle pickups on both sides of the oval about. But that's also where they will store them long term. And I think that's a really good thing. And here's why I think, because I think one thing will lead to another. I think we can get that to be year round.
Oh, the tram.
That's
Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Are you going to pay for that too? Because you pay for everything else. So when you look out these rooms right here across the way here on the beach, and you see Crescent Park, which looks beautiful now, thank you to Lee County. What have you heard that they're going to do there? You have any final things from Sandelli before he bails out that he's told you? With band shell, anything? Come on, give me some news.
nothing.
Oh, geez. Total letdown.
Yeah, there's things that we'd like to see happen. They got to triage, and deal with,
Lots
money,
of other
money
stuff.
this, money that,
Yeah.
and prioritize. I think we'll get there a step at a time. You eat this elephant, this recovery of eating a bite at a time. We want them to just do everything for us right now. All of a sudden, we are the #1 tourist destination in all of Southwest Florida.
Do you want to
so
see?
you think we probably should get some special attention.
Yeah.
But I think the relations are very good. But they can get better.
For sure.
They can get better.
So do you want to see a Taj Mahal pier or just a regular pier? Or you don't care?
I'll take either. I support the Taj Mahal. But if it just means it isn't going to happen, I mean, it's obvious that we don't have the Taj Mahal. So
Right.
Pier's a pier.
a pier is a
Anything's going to
pier.
work. Yeah.
Yes.
Silver Sands, what's going on there?
We are exploring. After everything we've been through, we've really been hit. I mean, honestly, financially, just like most everybody has here. We are investigating, trying to drum up an investor to develop that with us. We're just kind of tired of writing out checks, quite honestly. We still, on this project here, we still have millions of dollars the insurance company owes us that we had to pay for rebuilding this property that we have to fund up front, just for example. I don't know why I picked that one, but so we are going to market here next week, and it'll come out as though it's for sale, but that's really not the case. It's really about developing interest, with an investor, in Southwest Florida here. Somebody would become personally attached to it, and we partner up with them, and we'd like to do a vacation club, a form of a Margaritaville vacation club.
Nice.
Nice.
Great
Good
vision.
idea.
Like to have a rooftop pool, just a quiet pool, suites, and then love to have it connect up the Fins Up Beach Club with another walkover. But that's the vision. but
Alan,
no guarantees.
Alan Chinaski is watching. He says, we appreciate Tom's support of a less than average pier, not the Taj Mahal.
He
is
doesn't like
such
it
a
when
good
you
eye.
say
I know
that.
he doesn't. He's such a good guy.
He
So
is, and I'd love the Taj Mahal, but let's get her done.
Yeah.
So, do you think people should vote for Dan Allers again for town council, or is his time over? Has he just cooked his goose here?
He just won an award.
Well, he's going to get serious now.
I think Dan's the right man for the job.
Are you getting
Nice
emotional
job.
again, Tom? God, you're killing me today, man. Gosh. What about Adderholt?
Oh,
Yeah.
right man for the job.
Yeah.
Those are the two that are. Oh, Scott's
Scott's
vacant seat
he's
will
gonna
be
run
up.
again. He's gonna run again.
Oh.
Is he the right man for his job, or is he just a placeholder?
He's, Scott's going to be Scott.
Yeah.
So you're going to be he's very.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Scott's gonna
Very
be Scott.
predictable.
Yeah.
Times Square.
Yeah, he loves it. What do you? Anything else you want to tell people about?
Scott's a dear friend, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah,
Dear,
you play,
dear
you play
friend.
pickleball with him?
I played pickleball this morning, but I haven't with him.
Yeah.
But
Did
do
you
you want to
play-
play us?
Yeah,
No, no.
we should play. We need another game.
I find somebody's house to play out. I'd go over there and play.
I
Wait,
want a different
I think
partner, though.
I'd like to play pickleball against a man and a woman as opposed to two men, because I feel like I was handicapped in the
Oh,
last match. 'Cause-
You're
We-
going
we
to be
can- we can-
handicapped
totally,
after
totally.
this show.
We can arrange that.
You
We can
are
hand
gonna
pick
be-
it. So
Yeah.
speaking pickleball,
Yeah.
Our team here, Creative Juices.
Wait, what's that?
lawn
Creative
number-
juices?
Yeah, they have tremendous creative juices.
Oh.
Lawn number 1 over here.
Yeah.
Is going to get a little enhancement.
What?
Full-size pickleball court is going to get inlaid in the middle
Get out!
of the
nice.
of the lawn there, so it'll be elevation-wise level with the lawn.
Wow!
A full pickleball court. And,
How are you going to keep people from sweating to death?
sport court there? That'll be multi-purpose,
Drinks.
so that you can put a stage on there. It'll be dance
see.
floor, a stage. You can play cornhole. You
can I-
What about
very-
nice rink? You think you could pull that off
Yeah,
over
I
there
think
too?
this is a good size. So, Tom,
Well, I guess that could be lawn number 2. But then what happens to Beach Talk shows?
I've tried to share. I have brilliant ideas. I mean, I'm an idea person, Tom. I mean, I've tried to share ideas with your team, and they just poo-poo me. I mean, I think we should do like a 60s, 70s dance night. You guys had that dance floor out on New Year's Eve where nobody came, if you remember that. And we should get the dance floor out there, and we do a 60s dance night, because look at our people. I mean, they're old. They wanted to hear the 60s and the 50s.
Get a hold of Rhonda. They're
Yeah.
we come out of season now. We're on the shoulder. We're all ears now. We could not consume anymore. We were just
You cut me off.
We,
You
Yeah,
cut
we
me
were
off.
being fed, we were being fed by
I'm
the,
going to cut you off.
But you cut me
by
off.
the fire hose.
My second
And-
idea was a big giant screen where they show a Jimmy Buffett concert and people come out in coconut bras, and well, that was her idea. That was just I was just trying to steal that. But I mean, ideas. We got to get people from Cape Coral more people from Cape Coral to come here. Everywhere I go, people from Cape Coral that come to this beach.
It's a booming area.
So,
But
what's your next
back to
project? gonna-
Dan is the right man for the job. Jim
Oh, we're back to
McNatterholt's the
Dan?
right man for the job.
Yeah.
And they'll add balance. They listen.
Yeah.
They won't be reckless. They will represent you very, very well. So I highly encourage you to support and vote for those two in this upcoming election. They've both announced.
Yes.
Mhm.
And
Nobody else has announced yet.
they're very, very, very worthy people to represent you.
So I said on the show last weekend with the vice mayor, I said, being that you're close to Anita, because, everybody thinks Anita's going to run. And, and I said, you're friends with Anita. Just between us, is Anita going to run? And he said he hadn't heard that. So Anita sent me a text and said she has no plans to run. That didn't sound like a no, but it just said she doesn't have any plans to run. I mean, it wouldn't be a horrible thing if she did. She's got so much of positive historical knowledge
Institutional
of.
We got to be
Yes.
careful of not
institutional
being
knowledge.
too reckless. And
Right.
I know there's this find a way to say yes, but not with the bullies. Don't play their game. That's being reckless. That's reckless governance. And don't be sucked into that. And we need people. Anita would be a great one. She wouldn't
Yeah.
get sucked in either.
Nope.
Adderholt's not going to get sucked in. Dan's not going to get sucked into that. But
Who is going to get
work-
sucked in?
They'll work with anybody that wants to work with them.
Who is going to get sucked in right now of the people that you see?
I hope none of them.
But you think some of them?
Well, I think there's definitely one vote out of the 5 that's a yes to anything.
I see. All right. Well, you said, let me try and process of elimination here. Oh, I think I know who that is. Tom, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you so
we
much.
Love you, man. Tom
Thank you,
Torgerson, everybody.
Thank you.
This is why we're here. This guy right here, and John and Robert and Mary, and the list goes on. It's been I know you're going to yell at me now. What are you going to yell at me about?
You just go on and
I could interview him for 3
I
hours. There's a few
know.
people that you could just interview for hours and hours, and it would just be nothing
You know
but
what it
great
makes
content.
me feel better though is because there's so many people you could have on while I'm gone because
because you're going to be gone.
Yeah, I'll be gone and
She's
you'll
going to
be
Africa where
Well,
there's
that's not
floods and there's murder
I know.
and there's malaria, and she's so.
No, we did hear from Janelle and Ed, and
They
they
went.
made it. They made it safely to the next town, even though I don't. You know, they're experiencing El Nino floods over there, so it's
Big deal.
destroying everything.
Thank you
so.
all for coming. We appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow at Wahoo Willie's for Sunday brunch with the mayor. Thank you to Tom and Mary and Megan and everybody else, and Kia, baby Kia. Bye-bye.